What's up everybody, it's CJ and I'm back with another CJ Fix My Build video. I know I have been doing a lot of these lately y'all, but like people keep asking, so I gotta do what I gotta do, you know? But today I am fixing a home for Yum, who is one of my mods over on Twitch. So he sent me this build a couple of weeks ago actually. It was during my subathon and he wanted me to fix one of his houses for him and I was like, bet, I got you. I did not know what to expect with this house at first because like Yum is a good builder, so I really did not know what to expect, you know? Like I didn't know, like I was like, what can I do, you know? So he told me that this house is basically going to be for a family. It's a couple of parents and they have 6 children. So when I looked at this house, I'm like, okay, it looks pretty nice, you know, it's a nice size on the outside, but I'm like, I didn't really realize that I needed to like make this house for 6 children until I opened up the house and I was like, wait a minute, like hold on. So it wasn't like a really tall order, it was more so just like I had to figure it out kind of thing, you know? Now Yum said that I was not allowed to use any store content, only expansion pack and stuff pack stuff, and I also could not use any custom content. And then he was like, oh yeah, you know what, CJ, for an extra challenge, maybe don't touch the outside of the house and just kind of treat it like a shell challenge. And if you don't know, a shell challenge is a thing that people do in The Sims, where like you'll have a weirdly shaped build and the whole thing is like you're not allowed to touch the exterior walls. So like if it's a weird bump out, you can't delete it or whatever. You have to like work around it and you have to turn it into something. So he was like, yeah, you should just kind of treat it like that. And I was like, okay. But then he was like, if I really needed to change something, I could. But like, honestly, I didn't really change anything on the outside. I mean, yeah, I'm adding some more trees and doing some more landscaping, but this is more so just to kind of fill out the lot, you know, so it won't be a super empty, because this house is on a 40 by 40 lot, which is a really nice size lot to begin with, and I just thought maybe I could kind of fill in the lot some and get rid of some of the empty space. You'll see a little bit later on in the video that I do go back and I add even more things outside as well. So that was just a lot of me going back and forth with this build, but like to be fair, this house is really nice. Like I didn't really need to do anything. All I really done was furnish, and I did the floor plan. And the floor plan at first, I'm not gonna lie y'all, I was a little bit intimidated because I did not know where to start. But I guess this is like a little tip for not just me but for anyone. If you have a house like this, especially if you have like a second or third story, I always like to start with placing the stairs down first, and then when I have the stairs in a location that I really like, then I kind of base the floor plan off of that, because I feel like whenever you have a multi-story house in The Sims, it's just a good idea to kind of start out by placing the stairs down first, because in that way you can kind of see like how everything is going to connect. Whenever I do floor plans in The Sims, I think of them in terms of a puzzle, so I'm just trying to make everything fit together and not be like just, you know, extra and not just bad, you know? So what I came up with is a house it's kind of like a closed off floor plan, but it's not like completely closed off. There's some open space here and there. Basically, you'll come in and you have a foyer, and then there's going to be a bathroom that's right beside it. You'll have a little like office space in the corner, and then it leads you into a bedroom, and then there's also a bathroom right there. There's actually like 2 bathrooms in the foyer. Originally, one of the bathrooms was going to be a laundry room, but then I was like, why don't I make a mudroom instead? So you'll see a little bit later, it's the hallway that leads to the back door, which leads to the backyard. There's like a little mud room there. Yeah, I had a lot of ideas for this house. So whenever I do these kind of videos, like I often say, most of the time I don't know the Sims that are going to be living here, so I can't tell you like, you know, this Sim likes this or that Sim likes that. I don't really know. I just kind of have to go off of like what I'm giving, you know? So since this was going to be a house for 6 kids, I had maybe assumed that all of them were at least kids, you know, and not like toddlers or babies. So there are no cribs in this house, so if you do need to like change something, Yum, feel free to. I don't really mind at all, but I used a lot of bunk beds upstairs. So yeah, this house ended up being a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. So I'm kind of starting off with the first bathroom. So both of the bathrooms have shower tub combos. I like to do those in the Sims because they're just kind of useful. For one, I tend to have like, you know, dogs in my household, and dogs need to take baths in the game when they get dirty and stuff like that. And I also have a mod where you can give the toddlers baths in the bathtub. So nowadays I just instinctively get a shower tub combo or at least a tub, you know, because with the shower tub combo, your Sims can also take showers. I feel like whenever they take baths, I don't know if it's true, but it just feels like it takes them more time. It's a multitude of reasons basically. So I have a shower tub combo. I also have these base game countertops in here, and I kind of went with a more like darker color scheme. I was kind of inspired by the outside of the house. It's like a really nice gray color, so the inside is kind of like a more dark and slightly moody, I guess, but it looks cozy, you know, like you'll see it and you're like, oh, okay, this is really cozy, CJ. I also use the Sims 3 tool mod. So I try to mention this whenever I use it in a video. So the Sims 3 tool mod, you do not need to download it in order for this build to work. You can still download the build without it, but I like to use the mod to usually raise down blinds or curtains just so they can fit a little bit better with the window. Again, you do not need to have it installed, but I just use it. If you're familiar with the Sims 4 tool mod, it's basically the same idea, you know? I just mainly use it for like moving up and down blinds and windows and stuff like that, but you do not need to have it installed if you don't want to. If you would like to use it or download it, I am going to leave a link to it down below, but then again, like I said, you do not need it at all, okay? And also too, when you play in this house and you bring the walls down, you'll see that the blinds float. So if that is annoying to you, all you have to do is just delete them and that's it. But like, yeah, that's like one of the downsides of it, I guess. But yeah, anyway, now I'm over here, y'all, and we're in the little corner. So I knew that I wanted to have like a little office space somewhere in this house. So I decided to kind of make it this space over here. So I'm using the desk from Seasons, the lamp, and also the bookshelf is from Seasons as well. The chair is from the Pets pack, and then I paired it up with the couch from the University pack as well. The rug is also University, and I just think this area looks so cozy. Like, I could just imagine myself sitting here on the computer and then, like, you know, looking outside the window and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just really like that area of the house. And then now we kind of tackle the second bathroom. So this bathroom originally was going to be a laundry room, but then I thought to use the other space for the laundry room. So this is another bathroom. And originally I was going to also put like a shower in here and not a shower tub combo. But then I was like, I don't know, maybe y'all may have like a lot of kids, you know, or pets. So maybe it's just good to have two shower tub combos. But both bathrooms are basically the same. Similar color scheme. I think like slight differences in the wallpaper, but is basically the same. And then now we move on to the parents' bedroom. So I knew that I wanted the parents to be downstairs and I wanted the kids to have the upstairs section. This bedroom should be big enough for both of the parents. So I'm using the bed from the, I believe it's the Island Paradise pack. And then I'm pairing it up with some of those nightstands from the Seasons pack as well. The dresser is also from Seasons. I don't know why, y'all, but I always use the nightstand and the dresser from Seasons. I just like the way it looks, and I love the wood color. It's just so nice, you know? The mirror is from the base game. I originally used that plant from the Pets pack, but then I was like, maybe that's me using it too much, so I ended up using the plant from the World of Interest pack. And then now we move on to the living room, y'all, and I love the way this one turned out. So I knew that I wanted to have a fireplace in here because, you know, cozy vibes and all that. Now I'm using the really big rug from the Into the Future pack, and I hope, and I really hope, y'all, that it does not catch on fire. If it does, just delete it. But I'm using the really big rug from the Into the Future pack. It's not touching the fireplace, but I think it might be too close and it may catch on fire, but, you know, just don't turn the fireplace on. Problem solved, you know? But anyway, I'm using some of these couches from the Ambitions pack. At first, I used those big couches, but I swapped one of them out for the smaller love seat version of it. I also put some beanbag chairs down here because I felt like maybe the kids might do that, you know? They had it in their room and then they brought it downstairs for some extra seating. I'm using the coffee table from Generations. I put a game console down here as well. And then I went back and I kind of cluttered up this room a little bit more. I put a toy box down here behind the couch. We have a little rocking horse down here as well. There's some little scattered toys here and there as well. I don't know, I just love the living room. I think it's so cozy, you know, and it looks very lived in. Like, it looks new, but it also looks lived in at the same time. Oh yeah, and I also put a dollhouse in here too, just to kind of have one, you know. Oh, and then I also put like another beanbag chair over here to the side, just in case you might need like an extra one, you know. I also noticed that when I was like furnishing this house that I didn't have a lot of paintings up on the wall, so I wanted to kind of go back and like put some down, you know. So now this leads us to the kitchen, and I knew for a fact, y'all, that I had to have a really long table in here. The layout of the countertops are a little bit weird, I think. It's kind of like zigzag. If this was a Sims 4, I would have like the cabinets wrap around this little like angle piece. You can't really do it in a Sims 3 and have it be seamless, but I knew for a fact, y'all, that I wanted to use a really big table, so I'm using the table from the Seasons pack, and I'm also using the light fixture from the Pets pack as well. The appliances are from the base game, as well as the countertops as well, and the pots and pans and stuff like that. All of that is base game. The china cabinet is from Ambitions, but I just would love to imagine like the Sims being here, like doing their homework at the table or working on projects, or maybe just having like a nice meal together. Like, I really wanted the kitchen to be kind of cozy, you know, and I knew that I wanted the kitchen to kind of like lead into the mudroom. It took me the longest time, y'all, to find these shoe racks. I also put the washer and dryer in here. I'm using the one from University. We have a little like towel rack, I think that's from Ambitions, and then I have that book bag rack. I have that hanging up as well. I feel like with so many kids, you might want to be organized, you know, so So we have like little shoe cubbies, and then we have like the book bags and stuff like that. Looking back, y'all, I literally forgot to put some laundry baskets in the rooms. So I'm gonna have to go back after I finish doing this voiceover and add some laundry baskets now. That's why I'm kind of glad that I do these voiceovers after the fact, because now I need to go back and like put some laundry baskets down, because if you don't have them, you will have laundry all over the house, which is not what we want. But I also put like a little rug down here as well. And then now we go to the upstairs portion. So for the upstairs portion, both of the rooms are for the kids. So here's my thinking, right? In my brain, I'm like, okay, maybe Yum has like 4 child Sims, and then maybe like the other 2 are like teenagers, right? So I kind of separated the rooms a little bit, so like the kids stay in one room and the teens are in the other room, but both rooms have bunk beds just because, you know, it takes up less space. You can fit more people in a room, you know. So I start off by furnishing the teens room because this one wasn't as big, you know. I wanted this to kind of be like a place for them to kind of hang out and just get away from everyone being loud and stuff like that. Maybe they don't want to be around their younger siblings all day long, you know, so I wanted this to kind of be their little sanctuary. So the desk, the bed, and the dresser are all from the Generations pack. I wanted to kind of give them some nice little personalized beds. Again, I don't really know like what sim is what and who's who, so I just kind of make these like, I guess, a little bit generic, but they're kind of nice, you know. I put a lava lamp in here. I also put a university poster because, you know, maybe one of them might go to university in the future. You never really know. I put a little pencil case in here. We have a little mirror on the wall as well, and then I even put like a little plant for some extra decor. And then I'm using the splat rug from the Supernatural pack. I gotta say, y'all, this room just looks so nice. And I know it's not as big as the kids room, but you know, but like I said, in my brain, I'm like, maybe there's like 2 teenagers in this house, so maybe they'll need their own little space or whatever, you know. So now we move on to the last room, which is the kids room. So again, this one is the bigger room. I have like 2 bunk beds in here. There's also a little desk, and then I'm using like the same Generations desk. I'm using that little chair from Generations as well. I wanted this room to kind of just be nice, you know, so there's a lot of stuff to do in here. There is an activity table. There's also a little costume chest. I was gonna have a toy box in here, but I deleted it because there is a toy box downstairs, you know. So the Sims here have a costume chest, and then they also have a toy box. I also used that long bookshelf in here as well, and then I realized that this room did not have a dresser, so I moved the costume chest beside one of the bunk beds, and then I included a dresser in here. I'm using the vertical one from the Generations pack, you know, because it doesn't take up that much space. But in all, that's pretty much it for this room. I just kind of go in and just kind of clutter up a little bit, but that's pretty much it for the entire room. And then for the backyard, you'll see that I added a lot of stuff, y'all. I kind of went a little overboard. There's a pool in the backyard. There's an outdoor patio area for grills. There's some lounge chairs out there as well. I put a little soccer goal. Yum put a treehouse, so I kept it. And then I even made like a little makeshift sandbox area, so you can have your Sims playing the sand. You can also have them play with some toys and stuff like that. I even put a couple of spring rides in the backyard as well, because I just wanted to kind of go overboard with this house, you know. But in all, that's pretty much everything for the entire build and the entire video. So if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Please stick around for the screenshots so you can see how the house looks from different angles and stuff like that. And also, thank you again, Yum, for sending me your build. I hope you like it, and I hope it suits your Sims needs. But like always, if you do need to change something, feel free to. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!